The thing that you can, I guess, speculate about is what is going to happen in New York. We all know why it happened when you finish the season the way the Giants did, around 500, and they throw two eggs on the record, 49-17 loss to the Vikings on the road, and then they lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, a rival. I think John Mayer didn't have any other choice but then encourage Tom Coughlin to walk away, even though he's not retiring. What's going to happen in New York? Who is the perfect candidate, or is there a candidate for this head coaching job right now?
Tiki, I think it's a great question because I don't think there is a perfect candidate. Unlike Tom Coughlin in 2004, there's really nobody on the open market right now who isn't without a flaw.
Yeah.
Now, you can make that argument that any year that's the case. But you know, all the candidates, there's some kind of drawback in addition to their strength. Ben McAdoo, hey, great continuity, has done a good job with Eli Manning, has never been a head coach. He's 38 years old. Nick Saban, you want to give him that power? No. Anyone you look at, Adam Gase, great offensive mind, done a good job with Jay Cutler, one with Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, and Jay Cutler. He has had no experience. He's still in his 30s. So any way you go, Josh McDaniels, I think he'd like to have this job. Still in his 30s, bombed in Denver. You know, do you want to go that route? So it's a complicated equation, Tiki, and I think it's going to be a fascinating glimpse into how the Giants operate to see how they do it, first of all, in terms of who they talk to and who they come out with.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that catches my mind is I don't feel like this Giants team is in a rebuild mode. Like, you know, strip it all down and start over, and we can go with maybe a less experienced coach. I feel like they're more in it. We need to reset. We need a new, stronger voice, and the voice that I think was rumored forever to be linked to this job as soon as Tom either was fired or stepped down was Bill Cowher. Is that anywhere in the, I guess, thought process of this Giants organization right now?
You know, I think that Bill Cowher will come into the conversation. I go back to a conversation I had with Bill before the season, sat down with him in New York, and he talked about how he's enjoying his life so much. He loves to go on vacation, loves to travel in Europe, has done so extensively in this time off, loves the broadcasting business. I don't get the sense that he has the fire in his belly to come back. And, you know, I think that will be a major consideration for the Giants if they do consider him. And you're right. You know, his name was so hot during the frequent times that Coughlin was on the hot seat in previous years. But, you know, I think they're going to be reluctant to go that route unless they're convinced, and Cowher has to do that he is ready, willing, and able to come back for at least 5 years and put everything he's got into the job, because he's not a boom or bust coach, but he's so intense that, you know, I think once he turned it off, you know, he kind of liked life after that.
Yeah, no, it's one thing to be intense all the time, and it's just your lifestyle. You wake up intense, but then you go be a TV commentator. It's a completely different mentality to, you know, quote-unquote game day. We're talking to Bob Glauber, national NFL columnist for Newsday. Sean Payton is a name that is thrown out for a lot of these head coaching openings. The Miami Dolphins have been talked about. Even the New York Giants have been on his list. Maybe Philadelphia, where he was an assistant early in his career. The second-round draft pick that the Saints are likely asking for him. Is anybody going to pull the trigger on that one?
Tiki, I don't think a draft pick would stand in the way of Sean Payton going to another team. I look at Miami. You know, my Tenenbaum throws out draft picks and trades draft picks like, you know, you and I drink water. So he has no hesitation to do that, and I think that's a viable place for him. He certainly got some cachet, having won a Super Bowl and being a great offensive mind. You know, I've heard his name mentioned in connection with the Giants. I don't know if they're going to go that route. I don't think the Giants want to surrender draft picks. They covet them more than most teams. So I would think that the combination of Payton, kind of the way it's gone down in New Orleans after he won a Super Bowl, I think power got to his head a little bit, and he became a different kind of guy. Not that he's not a great coach, but I don't know that fits in the Giants' mold here, especially after Coughlin, who really drew the respect of everybody he was around.
Does he need to make a change? Meaning Sean in New Orleans, has he worn out? I don't say worn out his welcome because a lot of it was on the defensive side of the ball. Being the head coach, he is responsible for it, and the number of coordinators he brought in, from Spags to Rob Ryan, who he had to fire in the middle of the season. I mean, they've been one of the worst defenses over the last 10 years of any 10-year span in the history of the league. But does he need a change out of New Orleans?
He might, Tiki. He kind of has that look to him. And, coaches do wear out their welcome, and they do kind of get to a point where they've been, they get a little stale, quite frankly. And I think Payton is at that point now. Now, he's saying both things. He's saying, I want to be back. I plan to be back. Drew Brees expects himself and Sean Payton to be back, no question. But, these things have a way of changing. And it's an intense business, and sometimes you do need a fresh start. And don't forget, one of Sean Payton's big mentors, maybe the most important mentor to him, is Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
Who made going from one place to another an art form during his career. And Bill was a little bit more, he moved around more than most. But, I think it may be time for a change for Pete.
Bob Glauber here from Newsday. Are you surprised that with Chuck Pagano up in Indianapolis? I know that Jim Irsay has, I don't know, at best you could say mixed emotions about him as his head coach. But he's surprised not only that is he staying, but he signed a 4-year extension that's tied specifically, it sounds like, to Ryan Grigson's performance as well.
No, I'm not surprised. I am shocked because seriously, I do these power rankings every week, and I sent them in early this week because no Monday night game. I had the Colts down. Hey, they eke out a win, get 8-8, before the expected implosion of the entire operation. I was like, okay, I changed that at 10 o'clock at night. When, out of the blue, this contract extension is announced, and Pagano and Grigson, the partnership goes on. I don't know what happened in that meeting with Jim Irsay. I don't know what he said. I don't know what those two guys said to him, but somehow it worked out. And, maybe there was a little kumbaya singing going on and just sitting around the campfire. I'm just stunned.
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest stunners I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too, especially because it felt like the 49ers situation where the rumors that had started before the season even got underway and before they even had a chance, they were defeated, especially after Andrew Luck goes down. But I have a hard time, I don't know, putting my finger on who exactly Chuck Pagano is. Obviously, they had the first year where he got sick, unfortunately. But Bruce Arians basically was the coach of that team and led them to the playoffs. And ultimately, they got bounced in the first round by the Ravens. But then you have Andrew Luck's evolution the next year, then the following year. And now I still can't get a sense of who he is and if he is that guy who can win a championship in Indianapolis, even with Andrew Luck under helm.
Yeah, I struggle with that too a little bit, but I think who he is they look at him as a great leader of men who kind of is able to deal with the adversity in the NFL, and that's big. It's very big for a head coach. I mean, I think they look at him as a very good defensive mind. Now, you talk about, and this is really a trend around the league. They've got good offense with Andrew Luck, but no defense.
Yeah.
How often do we see it? It's the same thing in New Orleans. Same thing with the Giants. I just don't know that there are as many good defensive players out there that you can just rebuild with and draft and sign through free agency. They're getting to that. But Pagano, he did a great job in Baltimore. And, I think his leadership skills, the players love him, and I think that's important. And I think he's done a good job with a young roster that turned over a lot after Bill Polian left. They were in salary cap hell after the Peyton Manning and Dallas Clark and the big players left that team, and they've done a good job record-wise for the most part until this year. So, I hear what you're saying, but I think that in that locker room he is beloved. And I think out of that situation came one of the great coaches and great coaching stories in Bruce Arians.
Yeah, you're right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That guy was out of football a few years ago. I could easily see him go Coach of the Year again for
I know.
a third year in a row.
Exactly. He's been two-time Coach of the Year. Talking about Bruce Arians. Bob Glauber, national columnist for Newsday. A couple more questions for you, Bob, before I let you go. College coaches. Brian Kelly is one whose name keeps coming up. David Shaw. And I'm going to throw Chip Kelly in that, even though he had 3 years in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. Do any of them get any of these openings?
I don't know if they get any of the openings, but I think they'll be considered for the openings. Now, David Shaw has made it pretty clear, his resume is spotless. I mean, this guy he's young, he's smart, players love him, he's a good offensive mind, he's got a great program going at Stanford. I don't know that he wants to leave just yet. I think he'll have his pick of the litter at some point during his career. If Kelly goes to the NFL, it's going to be one of those very secretive moves that you don't see it coming. Yeah, I guess you have to do that when you're running a college program and you got recruits. But I think that if he goes to the NFL, it'll be very much under the radar, and all of a sudden we're going to see, Brian Kelly. I don't know. I don't know if the Giants would cover that. I think there would be a little bit of reluctance there. Chip Kelly, I think will get a job.